So you're thinking about changing your career to something that has more meaning, more purpose, more fulfillment. Got it. I talk to people every single day who are wanting to do this, yet so many people stop themselves. And really, it's usually out of fears that are going on in our heads, and they're stuck in their heads going round and around in circles. And I get it, I've been there. First of all, I want to say that it's completely normal to be feeling this and experiencing this, but I also want to help you work through them. I want to debunk 4 of the most common myths that I hear out there, because I want you to get what you really want. I mean, I don't know why you personally are wanting a career change. Maybe you want to improve your health, improve your relationships. Maybe you really want to make a difference in the world. We all have our own reasons for why we really want to do this. I want to help you move forward, so stay tuned. My name is Andrea Horvath. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I'm a career purpose coach. I transitioned my career from being a CPA in the corporate world and management, which I really was miserable at. It was soul-sucking, I mean deeply soul-sucking, to a career that I love now. And it took me a long time to get there, to figure out what it was and how to get there. And so that's really what I'm here to help you, so you don't have to struggle as much as I did. If you enjoy this content, if you enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate it so much. Okay, now to dive into the 4 most common myths, or 4 of the most common myths that I hear from people. One of the first ones is that they're starting over from scratch. Like if they're going to transition their career, it's right back to the very beginning. And nothing could be further from the truth, nothing at all. When you realize and discover your ideal career, and what I have to tell you right now is when you discover what it is, you're not talking yourself into it. It's like a hell yes, like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's when you know you've got it, by the way. But when you get the hell yes, this is it, what you will find, and this is with every single person I've worked with, as well as myself and my own career transition. It's not random, okay? It's not random. All the things that have gone on in your life, not just in your professional life, but also in your personal life, all these things come together, and it's this beautiful marrying of all the skills, experience, your passions, your history, the experiences you've just had, not only in your professional life, but your personal life. They all fit together in this most beautiful, beautiful way. You are not starting from scratch. What you're doing is really leveraging the pieces that you want to leverage, and leveraging the pieces that are going to get you to where you want to go, and throwing away the pieces that aren't working, because often what we do is we get on a path, and maybe you're really good at something. We stay on this path because either we're really good at it, or others see the value we're creating, and so they keep kind of nudging us in that direction. Doesn't necessarily mean it's your path though, right? But it's a beautiful marrying of all these things, and it all fits together. And so you are not starting from scratch, and it really is about positioning. And this is what a lot of people stumble on, is they don't know how to position themselves. They're like, well, I want this thing, but it feels like this far off dream. No, we just got to figure out how to take what you've got, leverage it, position it, and move you towards that as quickly and efficiently as possible, right? Okay, myth number 2 that I want to debunk, and that is that this is going to be hard. This stops a lot of people, and this is one that I find really interesting, and I'll explain why. Because hard or challenging or difficult, whichever word resonates with you, is such a relative word. Because every person I speak to who is really struggling, wanting to make a career change and transition it, but feels stuck, what I know about every single person, that person is struggling. Like, they are in pain, they are suffering, their personal life is suffering, their health is usually suffering. It may or may not be affecting their relationships. Usually it is. It's definitely affecting their peace and their internal harmony. Yet we lose sight of how hard that is, because we're used to that hard. It's just like it's become normal to us. So when I see someone who's like, well, it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging. And I understand it, because on the one hand, you've been in this one level of difficult and hard for so long that you don't have a lot in you to now start shifting and pivoting and doing these new things. Making a career change, you know, it does require work. Like, it does have steps that you have to take. This is not like it's going to magically appear and it's going to be beautiful and amazing and unicorn and, you know, rainbows. I would not be, you know, being of service to you if I was saying this. It does take steps, but there's a big difference. And this is what I really want you to take away from this, is there is hard that keeps you in the same place. Okay. So if you look 5 years down the road, you're still going to be dealing with the same struggles and challenges. Like, I know when I was in corporate, I felt like I was Groundhog Day. That's how I felt each and every day. Each and every day I was trying to motivate myself. Each and every day I was trying to deal with politics. Each and every day I was having to like dim my light and try to fit in and all this kind of BS that I was dancing that I was trying to do. It felt like Groundhog Day, and that was really hard. Now, when you're making a career change and you're in alignment and you're like focused on this is what I want and this is why I want it, there likely is going to be steps and points where it's going to require you to absolutely take actions and maybe step out of your comfort zone. Well, it is going to require you to do that. I'm not going to lie to you here. But the difference is it's getting you somewhere. So that challenging moment is a moment. It's not this Groundhog Day. That, to me, Groundhog Day of misery is way, way worse than having some challenging moments, working through them, and then evolving, growing, and getting better and growing and feeling better. I mean, I remember it was only, you know, not that many years ago where I was freaking terrified of hopping on camera and filming a video. Like, I'm telling you, I was freaked out. I didn't even do selfies. That's how much I hated the camera. I was totally freaked out about it. It was just like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? But I was so clear on what I wanted to do and what I wanted to create. And I was committed to myself and my journey that I'm like, I got through it. And you know, it didn't take long. It did not take long for me to work through that fear. It's completely gone now. It doesn't even exist. And I actually really love it now. It's one of my favorite things to do. So you got to think about, am I really engaged with hard that's keeping me in a Groundhog Day? Or can I move towards, yeah, maybe some hard moments, but moments that are also bringing me to, you know, me really tapping into my potential, feeling better about each day. Those are two completely separate, different ways of looking at what hard really is. Okay, now the third myth I want to debunk is that, and this is what I'm really hearing now, especially with the economy and layoffs, it's just safer to stay where I am. And there could actually be nothing further from the truth. There is nothing safe about working in any one particular job, in one particular industry, or one particular anything. Safety is actually found from within. So safety is investing in yourself. That's it. That is where safety is found. I mean, we'd be smart and strategic about all the other stuff, right? But we give away our power when we look to something outside of us to find safety. I mean, I've got clients who are working in pharmaceuticals, and who would have thought? Who would have thought in tech? Who would have thought? You told somebody a few years ago tech would be looking like it is right now. Would anybody have believed you? Not likely. There is no industry, there is no nothing out there that is safe anymore. And this is not to frighten you, far from it. That is the last thing I want you to do. I want to empower you. because you actually have the ability to create safety in your life. It comes from believing in yourself. It comes from like, where is your mindset at around who you are? And it does come around investing in yourself. And that can look so many different ways. But what it is, it's looking towards you to find the solutions for you and knowing deep within yourself, it's all going to be okay. You have to believe that at some point. Like, you have to sometimes look at, like, what are my core beliefs about life? Is life happening to me, or is life happening for me? That's a very, very, very profound and impactful switch you can make in your life. If you are a person who's been like, what's happening to me all the time, making that switch to what is happening for me is a huge shift you can make. But really, there isn't anything. And given our economy now, this point about there isn't anything safe out there really truly is more magnified right now. But this is always the case. This is always the case. I've been working for many years, right? It's not like I'm in my early 20s or anything. And this is something I have known right from the very beginning of my career. I've always invested in myself. And so I've never, ever been worried. I've been laid off before. It's happened to me due to, company shifts, companies being sold. I've been fired, you name it. It's all happened to me too, right? Before I went on this venture of being self-employed. And I never worried about it because I was always investing in myself. So if that's holding you back right now, just a reframe around that can be a really, really powerful shift to help empower you to move forward. Now, the fourth myth that I want to debunk is that you won't be able to do it. This is one that comes up really, really very frequently. And I want to share that I have seen people do the coolest things when they are in alignment with what they want to do, what they are being called to do. You see, you don't have these yearnings in your heart. You don't have this pulling at you constantly for nothing. It's actually because you have within you right now everything you need to actually be successful in what you're doing. Now, do you have the exact 100% skills? I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is you have the wherewithal. You have the ability to learn it. You have the gumption. You have the courage. You have everything. It's just simply the way it works. I have, I'm just thinking of a couple of client examples I have, and I actually attract a lot of more introverted, empathic, sensitive people into my coaching business. And that's because I'm all those things. You might think you don't look introverted or you don't seem introverted, but I actually really am. Although I love doing these videos, and I really do, they do drain a lot of my energy. I can't do them every day. I've tried for periods of time because I love doing them, but I find that my energy is drained too much. And so I tend to attract sort of more introverted empaths and sensitive souls, like I said. And I think as that kind of a person, we often think we can't do certain things. But I remember one client I was working with, again, she liked me in that respect. And she was starting a business and she wanted to start going to networking events. And she told me, she's like, it's terrifying me. Like, it's just terrifying me. And this was just the very beginning, starting stages of her business. And she went to her very first networking event. And I have chills as I'm telling you this story because it was just, it was so exciting when she shared this with me. So we had our call after her first networking event. She came back and she's like, she got her first freaking client. She went to a networking event and she got her first client. Like, that just blew me away. Who does that? Who does that happen for? Like, really, truthfully. And so I said to her, like, what did you do? Like, how did you approach this? And she said to me, you know, and like such a heart-centered, beautiful soul, she said to me, I just went there and talked to people. I asked them questions. I asked them questions about what they needed. You know, I just like basically she treated people like people. Like, it's really what she did. And this was something she had never, ever thought, ever thought that she'd be able to do. And I've got another client that I'm thinking of right now. She was the same as me on videos. Terrified. But there's a movement she's really, she really wants to create in this world. And so she knew she had to start getting on camera, you know, and so she did it as well. And, you know, I said to her at the very beginning, you can just film yourself. You don't have to share it. You just do it, just do a few for yourself. And it didn't take long. She did a couple videos and she's like, I can do this, you know, and there's just so many cool stories I have of people just, they're so committed it's like when you have that hell yes moment, when you're so aligned and you understand, and this is a real key point that I don't think you can really fully grasp until you get it. It's like kind of one of those things that when you get it, you're like, oh, I know what she meant. When it's a full body, yes, this is it. This is what I am meant to be doing. This is what I want to be doing. Your whole energetics change. Like it's just like you become this unstoppable force because you are so magnetically drawn to this thing that is just, and you know, it almost becomes bigger than you. And so, you know, you even go back to that point about, is it hard? You know, I mean, does it matter? If you love the result and you are becoming this amazing, badass person as you do it, you know, and that might be really hard to see right now because I know that when you're in this place where you're really frustrated, it can be really hard to see all of this. And that's why I want to share some of this, because this is what it's like on the other side when you get through and you figure out what it is you do operate in a different way. You function differently, you show up differently. Like I said, your energetics truly, truly changes. So now if you are someone who is like, yeah, you know what? I am ready. I am tired of banging my head against the wall. It's time to really step into my power. Down below in the description, I am going to put the link to my website. There's two things that you can do there. First of all, sign up to my newsletter. I share stuff there that I don't share anywhere else. Secondly, there is a page on how to work with me and what that looks like. I have a one-on-one coaching program, which is my signature program, which is really for women who have decided, like, I know I'm not in the right place. Like, I just know it deep in my heart, but I don't know what I want, how to get there, like what to do next. And truthfully, you may have absolutely no freaking idea what it looks like. That's totally cool. You know, people don't come and work with me because they know what they want. If they knew what they want, they probably wouldn't need me, right? So this is what I do. I work one-on-one in a partnership with women to get them to really where they want to be. So there is a link down there to my website, like I said, that's got a page on what it's like to work with me and what that could look like. And there's also a link to book a call with me if you want to explore this more. There's no obligation. It's just having a chat, having a conversation, see if we line up, see if I can help you, see if you're at the right place. Yeah, and just have a conversation around it. So I'm going to leave this video here. And again, if you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it so much. And maybe there's somebody in your world who you know has been banging their head against the wall and they're really struggling, and maybe this might help them. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.